Basically, I, 39 female, was helping my sister Claire, 38, with her kids, male tween and female kindergartner, because she was going through a nasty split with their dad. They go to the same school as my kid, younger female grammar school age, and I work flexibly and from home, so it was easy to pick the kids up and watch them for a few hours. I was always paid for my time, as was my husband, who helped, but I quit after Claire accused my kid of stealing. She said with no evidence or anything that since her daughter's favorite doll was missing, it was obvious my daughter had stolen it since it was last at my house. I asked my daughter and she said no, and I believed her. She said she saw my niece leave with it, and I believed her. I even searched my whole house and couldn't find it. I told my sister all of this, and she said that my daughter's a liar and a thief, and that I'm enabling her, and she expects me to pay for a new doll. I was so angry and incensed that she'd be so nasty and horrible that I just said to her, "My daughter's no liar and thief, and you know what? I'm done. Find someone else to babysit, because it certainly won't be me," and hung up. I got 5 missed calls from Claire before I blocked her. She sent panicked messages and tried calling my husband, and he blocked her too. We've learned from my parents that Claire is panicking because she really needs help with the kids, and I'm the only one with sort of a flexible routine to do so. She also said that she had found her daughter's doll and that everything is okay now, but she hasn't apologized for what she said about my kid. My parents think I'm screwing her over by not helping, and that she made an honest mistake and is just stressed and everything due to her marriage split. They've said that perhaps I should take the higher ground and move on from this, but they don't seem to understand that my kid was accused of something she didn't do. I see it as I don't care if she's crappy to me, but definitely if it's about my kid, and she hasn't once said sorry for accusing my young daughter of being a thief. She disrespected my kid, and no amount of bad situation or stress prevents her from saying sorry and smoothing things over. Edit. I should have added, my niece never said my daughter stole her doll. She just said something like, "Mommy, I can't find my doll," and never said any other context to that. So my sister just assumed it meant my daughter stole it, rather than believing it just could have been somewhere in her house. I quit babysitting because she's rude, nasty, and bitter, and expected things to just return to normal just because she found the doll. She hasn't admitted she messed up, and I would be happy to babysit again, but only if she sincerely apologized. But she isn't, so here we are. Not the idiot. Whatever the stress, don't take it out on someone who's doing you a favor. She accused your daughter of theft and lying. She found the doll in her own house and has not apologized. Stay firm on this, and don't agree to watch her brats again until she's apologized to you and your daughter. Exactly. A "things are okay, I found the doll" is not an apology. Sister doesn't get to go, "Oops, I made a colossal mistake," accuse your daughter of doing something malicious that she never actually did, and accuse you of being a crap parent by enabling it, but crap happens, and expect everything to be back to normal. Why do people always put pressure to be the bigger man or woman on the wronged party? Because they know the crappy person never will. It means being the doormat, so we don't have to deal with them whining or being a nuisance. I'm sick of people saying the wronged party should be the bigger person. All that means is to keep letting people treat you like crap and not complain. You keep protecting your children from evil, crazy people. Don't ever babysit for her again. Everyone's the idiot here. Accusing your child of stealing without any evidence and then refusing to apologize is unacceptable behavior. But you can't block her on everything and then complain that she hasn't apologized. How can she apologize if you're ignoring and blocking her? If she's still blocked, unblock her and allow her to apologize and make amends. But stand your ground. Don't give in unless she apologizes to you and your daughter. I, 39 male, have been married to my wife, 39, for 13 years. We had 2 children together, Sean, who would have been 19, and Marcus, a mid-teen. Almost 3 years ago, we allowed Sean to go camping with some friends. During this, he was injured severely by jumping into water that was not meant to be messed around. We lost him after a few days. My wife and I blamed ourselves, but specifically my wife. Since then, Marcus has been in arm's reach of my wife 24/7. He rarely goes out with friends, and he's rarely unsupervised, which is just not good for a younger teen boy. Marcus finally argued back, saying he really wanted to go fishing with his friends and his friend's dad, and didn't see why he couldn't go. My wife shut it down immediately, saying absolutely not, and that if he wanted to go out, he'd have to wait a day until one of us was off work. After Marcus left the room, I told my wife, maybe it wasn't such a bad idea for him to go, since his friend's dad would be there. She said no, he couldn't, and not to undermine her. I told her she needed to start letting Marcus have a life and stop hovering over him just because she lost Sean. My wife blew up at me, crying, saying she could be as overprotective as she wanted. She was his mother, and I had no right to say that because I'm as aware as her that the world is too dangerous. She then told me not to even mention this idea to Marcus because it was a big solid no. She's since seemed to be avoiding me and just hiding away in her office. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your wife needs help. She's gonna screw your kid up if this isn't corrected. She might be his mother, but you're his father. Honestly, I'd tell him he could go and not to worry about any consequences from his mother. I'd be putting my foot down on this nonsense. Oof. Unless the goal is to implode this family, what you suggest is just as destructive to OP's marriage as the mom's behavior toward her son. This whole family needs therapy. The wife needs help managing her fears and overprotectiveness before it further damages her relationship with her son. Her son needs help understanding better why his mom is behaving this way, and OP needs help supporting his wife with managing this loss fear in a healthier way. The child is more important than the marriage. Her current wrongness is actively harming her living son during an essential phase of his life when he should be gradually exploring being independent and working on making decisions about safety and so on by himself. OP does not have time to give her time to deal with all of her crap, especially if she's resistant, which it sounds like she is. Her trauma does not justify hurting her child. My dude, Marcus, is grieving his brother too, and he doesn't need to have that compounded with the loss of the freedoms of his teenage experience. If you allow your wife to have her way, if you allow her to set the terms of things in the future, you will not only be an idiot, but you'll lose your son too. It's time to step up and put your foot down hard. Your wife needs to be told that your son has two parents, both with equal authority and rights, and she is in fact the one who has no right to determine how things will go, that her hard no is as weak as a wet sponge in the grand scheme. Your wife needs therapy, not indulgence, and your son needs a hint of freedom. I, 21 male, currently own a barbershop and have found myself in a peculiar situation. The father of a cancer patient who's currently undergoing chemotherapy scheduled an appointment, and feeling very saddened by the situation, I decided to refuse any payment and give the girl her haircut for free. However, that's not the problem. Once they arrived, I helped the father pull the daughter out of the wheelchair and onto the chair, but then I saw him go outside to his car, only to arrive with camera equipment. I asked why he was doing this, and he leaned into my ear and whispered how he was going to record this for his daughter and tell me about how I'd shaved my hair for the video so they could publish it on their Instagram page. I refused and calmly explained how I wasn't informed about this during the scheduling and that I wasn't going to shave off my hair just for some stupid video. The father then visibly got angry towards me, for some reason, and yelled at me, explaining how I didn't get it and how much work he did to get to my barbershop and schedule an appointment. He called me a rich piece of crap who feeds off the poor and constantly degraded me throughout for no reason. I told him to get out and take his daughter. I explained how I don't tolerate disrespect, and he left while looking at me with a disgusted facial expression, as if I had done something wrong. So, am I the idiot? This moron expected to walk into a random barbershop and strong-arm someone into shaving their head? What an idiot. You are not the idiot. I'd love to see the look on his face if you had offered to shave his head instead, assuming he had hair to begin with. These people are entitled and unhinged. Are you sure the kid actually had cancer? It wouldn't shock me to see some turds faking something like this for Instagram clout. Why would a girl with cancer want some random hairstylist to shave their head in solidarity? OP, the father was out of line, and you were well within your rights. I hope that girl is okay. Gosh, the struggle he's had in life, booking an appointment, my goodness. I'm sure you guys have seen the clip where an older lady with cancer goes to a barber and he spontaneously shaves his head too, along with one of the other barbers. There just happens to be a camera set up filming the whole exchange. Dad is trying to ride that clout. You owe him nothing. He needs to get his head out of the internet for a while. My stepmom saw a comment I made on a Facebook post several weeks ago that said I would probably have my mom in a delivery room with me if she were still alive. The post was from a page I follow, asking expected parents if they thought their mom's presence would comfort them. She messaged me on Facebook when she saw it and told me I could still have one of my moms there. Her. I replied that it wasn't her I meant. I saw her a few days later, and she told me how embarrassing it was to have me openly state that on social media where people could see. She said most would assume I have two moms and that she would be worthy of being invited. I told her my reply was not meant to embarrass her, but I was being honest about my feelings on the topic. She brought it up more times and tried to advocate for me, saying yes. When I kept saying no, she said I was blessed with two moms, and sometimes I act as though I only have one. The background is as follows. I lost my mom when I was 6, and my dad remarried just before I turned 8. My stepmom wanted to adopt me when they married, but I didn't want that. My dad didn't want to waste the money if I'd only tell the judge I didn't want it, and said the judge would side with me. I think my stepmom tried to be a good second mom and tried to fill the space my mom used to. She didn't remove mom's memory, but she competed with her memory. I never wanted a second mom and always saw her as more of a dad's wife than a stepmom. But saying stepmom seemed like a compromise not to rock the boat too much. She has 4 sons with my dad. She's a good mom to them, though I think she always wanted a daughter, and I believe this is why she could never let go of the whole mom thing. But anyway, my stepmom did not drop the topic. I changed the subject a lot when she brought it up, but over the weekend, it came up again. She said I was already honoring my mom and mother-in-law with my daughter's name, not their actual names, but associations with them. I've never acknowledged her as a mom to me, or even a grandma to my daughter. The least I could do is let her be there and support me the way I dreamed my mom would. She told me she could be my greatest advocate, which would go a long way in acknowledging our relationship's mother-daughter nature. I made it very clear to her that I did not want her there, and yes, I want my mom, but she never held that title for me. I told her that she was my stepmom, and she wasn't someone I would feel comfortable having there for that moment. She was upset and tried to pull my dad into it, but he refused to get involved, which no surprises there. My stepmom said if I didn't want her there, then I should have at least deleted those comments, and she also said I had made it very clear I thought nothing of her feelings. Am I the idiot? You might not like to hear this, but I think you are the idiot, and I'll tell you why. Not for not wanting her there. You can have whoever you want in there. But the way you seem to treat this woman, who's also the mother of your 4 brothers and has been there for more of your life than your actual mother, sounds pretty terrible. Sounds like she's done her best to be there for you. Lady, you were cruel to her online. You're being cruel to her now. Do you also treat your youngest brothers like this because they aren't your real brothers? Or are you nice to them, just not their mom? Honestly, you sound like a spoiled brat. Especially when your mother passed. It's not like your dad cheated and left her. He remarried, and he deserves to find love again. I hope your brothers start to treat you the same, or that stepmom doesn't allow you to be there for your nieces and nephews. That would be fair, right? I, 30 female, gave birth to our daughter 4 weeks ago, and it was a traumatic delivery. I'm partially bedridden due to complications, and due to this, I was given food stamps by the state. We also have 3 other kids, so it's a pretty significant amount. I know that probably makes me sound like a scumbag. Trust me, I don't want to be on state help, but regardless, right now I am. Because I can't drive currently, my husband does all the shopping, and we have this app on our phone that applies coupons offered by the actual food stamp card, so we save a lot of money, and the food stamps go very far. Without them, we'd be screwed. Well, I checked the bank account yesterday because we have a bill coming up. My husband gets $20 an hour, bi-weekly pay. Generally, he brings home around $1,300 a paycheck, so $2,600 to $2,800 a month, and at least 65% of that goes directly toward rent. He just got paid last Wednesday, and he's already down to $320. When I went through all the transactions, I found that he's spending $20 to $50 3 times a day at gas stations. No, we're not in a state with gambling in gas stations. I confronted him on it, and he told me he was buying food. This really rubbed me the wrong way. I asked him why he isn't using the food stamp card, because gas stations are EBT approved, and he said, I don't want to look like a scumbag showing up in a company truck and buying food with food stamps. I told him that maybe he should suck up his stupid pride because we have food stamps for a reason. He's blowing through hundreds of dollars on food and leaving us in the hole when it comes to actual cash. He says I'm an idiot for expecting him to do something like that he's very uncomfortable with, and it makes him feel like a dirtbag. Am I wrong? He has the ability to bring a home lunch, but given that he's so tired in the mornings because our newborn is cluster feeding and up every 2 to 3 hours, he's been forgetting to bring his lunch and just rushed out to work because he's running late. Not the idiot. The gas station is probably one of the most expensive places to buy food. He should be going someplace like Walmart with a grocery list of ingredients for planned out meals, where he'll be more or less anonymous among the large volume of shoppers. He's jeopardizing your family's financial well-being because of his pride and lack of planning. How the heck is he spending up to $150 a day on food at a gas station? Point out that he's not making $150 a day, so to spend that on food, he might as well quit his job. Also, point out that spending $150 on food from a gas station makes him look like more of a scumbag. Also point out that not providing for his family is far more of a scumbag. And also point out that spending $150 on gas station food is the reason you need food stamps. You're not a scumbag for accepting assistance. That's what it's there for. You need to eat, feed your kids, and stay alive. You're doing nothing wrong. Your husband sure has, though. He needs to get a handle on his delicate, fragile petunia of an ego and feed his darn family, using the necessary assistance, and perhaps practice being a stronger person. He truly sounds oversensitive and should learn to control his emotions, or at least not let them control him. OP, he's not buying food. Keep in mind they sell other stuff, cigs and alcohol at gas stations. That amount sounds like he's buying alcohol, tobacco, or something else. This would make more sense than being scared to pull out a little card that no one else in line will probably even see.